to my channel. Today's video is going to be a makeup tutorial on this look. I really wanted to do something fun and colorful and kind of like spacey, like spacey. I was just playing with makeup on this eye for fun and I ended up loving the way it looked, so I was like, let me film this other side of my face. Of course, I'm using the FRIENDCATION palette today and our DESIxKATY collection with Dose of Colors. I am just so inspired by this palette. I love it so much and I hope you guys love it as much too. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm using a little bit of concealer. This is just the Tarte Shape Tape. Cancel out some of this redness that I got going on. I didn't even use an eyeshadow base on the other side because I wasn't planning on like keeping it, but I did struggle blending because I didn't have eyeshadow base. This is just shade medium. I'm blending it out and like really making sure that I get an even blend out here because I have such a hard time winging out my eyeshadow. Like this was really hard for me, but for some reason, because I wasn't filming and I was actually on FaceTime with Katy doing it, it was easy. I think I wasn't thinking so much about what I was doing. It came out really nice. And I'm gonna go ahead and set that so it's not sticky. I'm just gonna use a little bit of a bone shadow here. I'm not gonna put any on the lid because I'm gonna use a lot of shimmers there and I don't need a matte dusting me up, if you will. And I'm gonna be dipping into this matte Karity 21 highly pigmented matte eyeshadow palette. I wanted to use bold colors with some of our shimmers. All right, so this is the hard part, remembering exactly what I did because I was on the phone with Katy. But I do remember I picked up Alexi, this shade right here, with a Morphe Y18 brush. Start here so that I get a guide and flick it up. And then I'm just taking that, flicking it outwards, connecting it to my lower lash line. The thing about my eyes in particular is that I have a lot of pigmentation right here, so it doesn't look neat and crisp until the very end and it throws me off. You know what I mean? Like I see the pigmentation, I think it's eyeshadow. And then I just took it into the crease all the way into the inner corner and then blend this out. I just got so excited playing with the makeup that I didn't even decide like, oh, let me go do my hair before I film. I just wanted to start filming because I'm in the groove. Taking it all the way into this inner corner because once we pop this highlight, it's just all gonna connect and be nice and smooth. For my outer wing, I'm taking a Morphe M507. This is a little bit smaller of a blending brush. I'm dipping into that same color, trying to get this even. I am going to try to flick this upwards here and out. This is kind of the part that is just like the hardest for me. One day I will perfect it, okay? One day. Next, I'm gonna dip into Ego, which is just a deep purple right over here. I'm gonna use the smaller Morphe brush first and just do the same thing, but start underneath the pink shade on this outer corner. And then I'm gonna take this first Morphe brush that we used with the same purple and just start applying that into the crease, deepening that up. This little brush really helps me with this outer part blending, so anytime I need to work out here, I just pick that up. And next, we're gonna mix a little bit of blue into this to deepen it even more because we're gonna be applying a really deep lid shade, so I really want to make sure that the crease has something deep to blend into the lid shade. So after we're done building this purple up, I'm gonna actually be adding some navy blue. Our shadow Game Over, it is so beautiful. Even though it has a black base, the reflex can come off as blue. So when you put blues around it, it's gonna make that pop even more. Whereas if I were to put more warm tones around it, like browns and blacks, it would look more black. But I want it to pull out those blue flecks. To deepen this up even more, I'm gonna be dipping into Phantom mixed with Enchant. I'm just taking these two. I remember mixing them together when I did this, so I'm gonna do it again. Going into that crease and darkening it even more. And I'm actually taking this even lower on the lid so that just enough of that gets into the crease, but most of it stays like the brighter purple colors. Next, I'm gonna be taking a little bit of the Ofra Cosmetics. This is just a black gel liner, and I'm using a flat concealer brush, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply this to the lid, just so we have a nice deep base for our dark shadows. Get into that lash line since we're here, and then lightly fade it out here in the outer corner. So just like that, doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna apply a shadow over it. For the shadows, I'm first gonna be applying Game Over from our Friendcation palette right over here onto this first half of the eye. Oh, look how black that is. It's just so pretty. I actually think it might be easier to do this with a brush because of my liner. So I'm gonna take a flat concealer brush. This is a clean one. And I'm gonna start applying this to the lid. It looks so good. And then I'm gonna go back into this Morphe brush and take the navy blue and that bright blue that we used in the crease and just go over these edges one more time. I just like bringing in that blue to make the blue stand out a little bit. Do you guys see this shadow? It's just like, you wanna swim in it. Next, I'm gonna take the same flat concealer brush. This time I'm picking up a Moment. I know people are thinking this is just a blue shade, but it's really not just a blue shade. There's times where I see it on people's snap and it looks straight purple. It is a beautiful blue with a purple shift, and it's incredible, and depending on what eyeshadows you pair it with, it shows up differently. This is not just a blue shade, okay? It has this incredible shift. You have to see it in person. So I'm gonna be applying this to the outer part of the eye right here. And then I'm actually gonna follow, you know what? Let me deepen this wing before I do that. I want the winged out part to have like a really strong matte guide, and then the blue just to kind of fade into it. I think sometimes it's easier if you just take a makeup wipe and you like clean these edges. We'll clean that up with concealer later. So I'm picking up a Moment and just packing it into the outer part of the eye, and then with the reflex left on this brush, I'm just flicking it in the same direction of the winged out shadow so that it's like kind of blasts into it. I'm actually gonna also just press this into some of the black so that it fades nicely. It's like, is it blue, is it black? I don't know. So just make sure it's nice and faded by doing little patting motions into the black. I'm gonna take a little concealer here so I can see like what's going on. So I can cover this pigmentation, give myself a nice little sharp edge. Make sure you cover that line. I'm not trying to look crazy here. Okay, so now I see that sharp line. For my foundation, I'm gonna be using the Born This Way foundation in Warm Sand. On my brush before, I had NARS Radiant foundation, but it was a little too light. So that's why you see now a mixture of those two colors coming together. Just using my It Cosmetics brush. I love this brush. This is the Heavenly Luxe brush. I will say that between using a base and not using a base, I could totally see the difference in like the blending. Then on the other, I didn't use one. Cool. Now let's go ahead and contour. I'm gonna use the Bobbi Brown foundation stick in the shade Almond. This is pretty warm, but I need that right now. Let's make this forehead smaller here. I'm actually gonna be taking the Sigma Soft Angled Contour and pressing that into the skin and pushing that upwards. My face is warming up here. For concealer, I'm mixing the Laura Mercier in 3W with a little bit of NARS Ginger. These are actually my breakfast brows. You know, I just like threw them on and ran out the door to breakfast this morning. The NARS concealer has like a little bit more of a peachy undertone, so I always like to use it over like darker areas of my under eye. I mix always like a little bit right here. This Laura Mercier one is like nice because it's thinner and it has like a nice, easier spread. It sounds like I'm making toast. So I am gonna take a little NARS Ginger and just apply it right here and down the side of my nose. Just gonna lightly pat that in. I'm gonna use a little bit of my Laura Mercier translucent powder to just set my under eyes before I apply my lower lash line. While that's baking, I'm gonna do my lower lash line and my inner corner of this eye. I didn't do it yet. So I actually used the Kylie Sipping Pretty palette. There's this like iridescent purple shade in here. So I'm gonna use that on the inner corner. Put a little more on this side too. Nice. I'm gonna be taking this color. It's LSD Urban Decay Glide On Pencil. And I'm applying this on the outer lash line, connecting to the winged out shadow we did. With a clean pencil brush, I just wanna kind of blend that out. Feeling like it's a little too sparkly for me, for my personal preference. I'm gonna go in with a black liner, Urban Decay as well. Go over that, because I don't want it to be too sparkly down here. I don't want to steal the show from up top. That's better for me. I'm gonna just do the same thing on the other side. In the waterline, I'm gonna try out the Asphyxia pencil by Urban Decay. Kind of matches our inner corner. I just wanna see if it shows up enough. It's giving a cool effect, not showing up as like bright as I want it to, but it still looks cool in there. Now I'm going back into this deep purple and then this more fuchsia color. I'm mixing that on that little Morphe blending brush, and I'm just gonna run that along the lower part of this liner that we just applied. Add some smoke, soften it a little bit. We're gonna go in and apply some Iconic lashes, good old Iconics from House of Lashes, and pop these on, hopefully with one fail swoop. Nope, not one fell swoop. Whew. Lashes are on. I don't want to go too crazy with my skin. I think I'm having a little bit of a reaction to something. I'm not sure. I could feel something happening under here. I'm not trying to like clog my skin too much. I'm gonna go in with my Guerlain bronzer in Terracotta. Really soft application of bronzer because I don't want to move my foundation around too much. Listen, I'm getting this weird rash right here. I'm not sure what's happening. I feel it under my skin. So I'm not gonna apply too much bronzer or anything because I don't wanna disrupt it even more. I have the most sensitive skin. Out of nowhere, anything I use like will all of a sudden just give me like a rash or something. It's terrible. It really sucks because I'll have like my full makeup done and then all of a sudden something bothers my skin like a primer or something and then I have to take it all off. So I'll probably be taking this off right when I'm done. But it's fine, we're gonna continue. For blush, I'm gonna be using Rose by Laura Mercier. I don't know what's going on under here. Chasing the Sun highlight. This is like my new favorite highlight. Again, because my skin's acting weird right now, I don't wanna apply too much because highlight actually accentuates this kind of situation. So I'm just gonna like put it right here in the light amount. Just enough to catch the sun, if you will. Down the nose. I'm gonna do a light dusting of it up here. Nothing's really going on over here, so let's just hit it one time for the one time. I'm just gonna give up on my skin right now. I'm gonna stop there because I don't wanna make it worse. We're gonna move on to the lips. For the lips, I'm starting with Kylie Jenner Posy K Lip Liner. And then over that, I'm gonna be using Katy and I's Dose of Colors Liquid Lip. It's a nice, comfortable, satiny liquid lip. You can move your lips around just in case people think it's like the normal liquid lipstick formula. This is a new formula. You guys, I'm actually panicking deep down, but I have to finish this video because I love the eye look. But things are happening on my skin right now. I still gotta get my end shots and a picture up in this bitch. Lord knows I'm gonna be having to Facetune all that out. All right, now let's hit it with my main. I really love this color with this eye. After I apply it, then you go back in with lip liner to really just like blend the edges and diffuse them and clean it up. All right, so that's it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I'm so happy I sat down to film this. I was so inspired by this eyeshadow palette. I really hope that you guys enjoy this collection as much as we do. There's so many fun colors, so many different looks you could do, and just the shifts in all of the shimmers. You could pull different colors depending on what tones you blend them with. So I really love the way this all turned out. Let me know in the comments down below if you picked anything up from the collection, what you're loving, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. My God. Look at what the cat suit did to my spray tan. This is just for everybody who's like not into color and you like don't like to stand out. This is kind of for those people, this tutorial. Oh, I have to pee, but I don't want to go because I'm in the zone. Where's my black liner? Like you don't like shimmers. Neutral. You only like neutrals. This is that tutorial. Oh my god, should I put like a highlight right here? Catsuit, I knew it. I knew it was gonna happen. Moving on. My hair is just really living right now.